Let's talk about something that's not a game or a manga, but an entire sub-franchise of Bomberman that never made its way outside of East Asia. When you look at Bomberman, you see that his main gimmick is that he uses bombs. Sure, there's a huge amount of really obscure stuff to the franchise, as I'm sure you're aware by now, but everybody knows that Bomberman uses bombs. So how's about we ditch the bombs entirely and make him shoot marbles instead? I introduce you to Bomberman Bitaban. Now, you may have heard of Bitaban as a marble-shooting toy, but Bitaban actually started out as a spin-off of Bomberman, Bomberman Bitaban. The sources I can find say this toy spin-off started sometime in 1993, and there are toy versions of White Bomber, the Dastardlies, a whole bunch of multicolored bombers, etc. All of this exclusive to East Asia, of course, so I really can't go into that much detail, but I'm bringing it up now because there is a game tie-in to the toy line. Bomberman Bitaban, released in December of 1996 for the Super Famicom exclusively in Japan. Even came with a gold Bomber Bitaban toy. The game isn't particularly text-heavy, so it's playable without being able to read the menus. Yep, he's shooting marbles alright. You can choose a color and a face, and we see that this game actually does involve bombs, which Bomberman Bitaban as a franchise actually rarely does. We have these stages, we can shoot a marble from anywhere on this bottom line, and even curveballs. And the goal is to get the timing and positioning right, to make the bombs set each other off and get as many as possible for the high score. Each level consists of 10 challenges, and there are 100 challenges in total. Oh looky, the Dastardlies make cameo appearances here. And the World Bombers, and Honey and Kotetsu. We have different settings like a bowling arena, a forest, a beach, outer space, and there are gimmicks like fuses, arrows that redirect the marble, stuff like that. Beat all the stages to at least an acceptable level and you get a scorecard, and that's basically it. No story or anything, just a bunch of beat-em-on challenges. Also all original music, no Bomberman music to be found here. There is a multiplayer mode where you shoot marbles at each other, but that's about all there is to say about that. But the sub-franchise goes deeper than that. I've mentioned there's been a ton of Bomberman mangas that aren't translated. Some of them tie into the games, sort of. Some of them do their own thing, and some of them are, well, Bomberman Bakugouidan. The main manga series, yes there are main Bakugouidan mangas and spin-off Bakugouidan mangas, started being published in October of 96 and consists of Bakugouidan 2, 3, 4, and 5. I guess they're based on the different toy lines and that's why there's no 1, they didn't make one for the first toy line. Just a guess though, the info isn't quite clear. And then the Bomberman Bitaban Bakugouidan animes, plural. Let's jump in and see what we got. Okay, so the first anime started airing in February of 98, and this old dude is telling us the legend of Bida, which takes place in the Blue Solar solar system. Prince Whitebon here is practicing his marble shooting, but White's father, King Goldbon, appears to be corrupted by something. He has renamed himself to Emperor Darkbon, founded the Null Arc Empire, and is taking over the solar system. He sends Blackbon to fetch his son White to join him, who refuses, and so he is locked up. But Redbon, yes, Red Bomber is a girl here, helps him escape together with Professor Grainbon, who somehow knows that Gold is being possessed by an evil spirit. They make it to Neptune with the help of Yellowbon, where a rebel army is already forming to fight the evil empire. They even have mechs. Very marketable. I like how all the animals also have marbles. They fight off the empire and now they need to find all 7 of the planet emblems and find the 7 chosen heroes, which they promptly do in the next episode. Black joins them and they vanquish the evil that was possessing Gold, Dark Mother, who vows to return someday. Wow, done in 2 episodes. That was fast. Remember how this is all the legend of Bida being told to us by that old guy in the beginning? Well, the actual story of the anime starts in episode 3. Now in the present, in Bida City, Whitebon crashes into Professor Gray's airship. These characters are not the same ones from the previous episodes. That was just the ancient legend being told to us by the old guy. See, the various Bakugouidan stories actually have nothing to do with each other aside from Dark Mother being the eternal force of evil that comes back all the time. They just reiterate the characters every time, including their relationships and personalities. This anime is actually an adaptation of Bakugouidan 4. but they decided to have the first 2 episodes be a very brief summary of Bakugouidan 3. So where the mangas are 2 separate things, in the anime one story exists as a legend within another. Okay, so Bluebon here has a pet Rui Rui, and after finding it and bringing a bunch of characters together, Gray explains they will have to fight the organization known as Dark Beta, and that's it. I mean, it has 48 episodes. The story does go on from here, but that's as far as these fan subs go as of now. Somebody subbed the first 3 episodes a long time ago and then stopped, so that's all we got. The episodes are all out there, and there are plot summaries to be found, but I am actually going to hold off on this until somebody makes fan subs for the rest. The second Bakugouidan anime, Bakugouidan 5, started airing in February of '99 and is an adaptation of, well, Bakugouidan 5. Again, the episodes are out there, but there are no subtitles. Thus, we have 2 full-length animes where Bomberman doesn't use bombs and it was all exclusive to East Asia. The only other thing that has a fan translation is one of the spin-off mangas, Bakushoden Victory 1. The plot is that our main cast from Bakugouidan and these guys, the 3 Devil Cannons, are fighting over the gems known as the Chrismons, but really since it's more of a parody spin-off, it's mostly just an excuse to pull off a bunch of gags. Here they are falling with parachutes and they are too close to the ground for the parachute to open, so they blast a hole in the ground to give them enough height for the parachute to work. Should give you an idea of the kind of stuff going on in a good chunk of all of these Bomberman mangas. Phew. Bitaban and Bakugouidan are huge, but with so much stuff that isn't translated, I can't really go into more detail on it. Bitaban would eventually split from Bomberman and do its own thing, with later animes being officially dubbed and broadcast overseas.
That's impossible, you would think, right? I could have never imagined that Bitaban contained a secret like that.
My words exactly. There are 2 Bakugouidan games too, but I'll talk about those as best I can when we get to them in the release order. For now, let's finish 1996 with Bomberman GB3 for Game Boy. Released the exact same day as Bomberman Bitaban, actually. Remember, GB became Wario Blast, GB2 became GB, and GB3 was Japan exclusive. This is another game that isn't very text-heavy, so it's well playable even if you can't read Japanese, but there is a fan translation for it. We boot up the game and it's a flat surface planet? Take that, globeheads. This planet is called Owan, but the fan translation called it Owen for some reason, so Owen here is the 11th planet of the Bomber Nebula. And it has an earthquake, or Owenquake, all of a sudden, which releases Devil Bomber. Devil Bomber would appear in one other game that would see an English localization, and there they censored his name to Evil Bomber. The fan translation calls him Evil Bomber, but I'm gonna call him by his original name, Devil Bomber. Devil Bomber overwhelms the planet's defenses and steals the energy from the bomber capsules. As White Bomber, Black Bomber, and a third new character sit there defeated, they set out to retake the bomber capsules and defeat Devil Bomber. Well, except for Black. He doesn't do anything in this game. He just sort of sits here in the intro. The manual has more character details for us. Bomberman is the commanding defense officer of the planet trying to stop Devil and restore peace. Devil Bomber was apparently built by Bagura, but his egotistical personality got on Bagura's nerves, so he imprisoned him. But now the earthquake released him, so he's trying to take over the world and stuff. This new character is called Cutie Bomber and is described as the only female scientist in the Bomber Nebula. Wow. Guess the Bomberman universe isn't big on women in STEM fields. I'd bring up Bomber Mother as a female inventor if she was more than just an offhand comment in a developer interview. Nice motorbike. We start the campaign and immediately have 3 areas to choose from. We can tackle them in any order. We have our traditional gameplay, but just like in GB2, each stage comes with a twist, such as defeating all enemies, defeating enemy spawners, bombing Pac-Man, I guess, to make him eat these things, bombing switches. The 5th stage of every world is a crystal collecting stage. Collect as many as possible while listening to this. To spawn some extra goodies for the boss fight. Search for the orbs in the chests to activate the exit and fight the boss. Every boss will drop some of the bomber capsules, which you can then exchange with honey for some permanent power-ups. Those being Kick, Dash, Line Bomb, Full Power, and 4 different motorbikes built by Cutie Bomber. They have different abilities, such as jumping over hard blocks, crashing into soft blocks destroying them, and being able to take 2 hits. If you lose one, you'll have to use a different one until it gets repaired. And if you lose all 4, then Kotetsu will tell you that none are available. That's basically the formula here. The worlds are what you'd expect. Forest, ice, factory. The ice area has ice that you slip on, cause that's always a joy to deal with. The factory has enemies on motorbikes that destroy soft blocks. That's an ability of one of the motorbikes that Cutie invented. Is she secretly supplying the enemy? There are even a few auto-scroller levels. After the first 3 areas, we face the next 3 areas. A pyramid where we get to push tiles around to match them while this thing chases us. And watch out not to bomb the skull bombs here or the whole place blows up. The volcano world has, well, volcanoes, and we get to push bomber heads to plug holes in the ground. Onto the lake with more auto-scrollers. A bit of a puzzle element with these underwater cyclones here. You bomb the switch to make them move, so make sure you position yourself correctly so you can get through. Most of our music is a rendition of our main theme, but there are some originals too. Our bosses are as generic as can be. Moth, snowman, squid, that sort of stuff. We go a layer deeper to the final area, the dark area, where the lights turn on and off. We also get Pac-Man to eat more enemies for us. We fight Devil Bomber's clone, who floats around and shoots orbs and splits into 2. Oh, that was easy. Okay, here's round 2. Now there are those insta-fail bombs in the corners we need to pay attention to. Oh dear, more levels. This time, we bomb all the enemy spawners while avoiding the death bombs. Plus an auto-scroller because, of course. At least the level finish jingle is nice. Okay, this time for realsies Devil Bomber. He has a few new attack patterns, but nothing out of the ordinary. And then he's in the background as these hands clap on us and we bomb this spider egg thing that hatches. Is this devil or is this devil? And if either of them is devil, then whose disembodied hands are these? Enough hits and the bottom part of the planet falls off and everyone celebrates Bomberman's victory. Even Black Bomber, who did nothing throughout the game. And Bomberman is appointed the commanding officer of Owen's defense forces. But wait, he was already the commanding defense officer of the planet when he started. So what's the difference? Well, the translations on the Shrine Place wrote the manual description defense with an S and the ending cutscene defense with a C, so I like to think that was the promotion. He sets off to patrol the galaxy on his new Sky Bomber vehicle and the credits roll. The end. This game actually doesn't have a battle mode. Instead, there's a challenge mode, somewhat similar to what we had in Saturn. We choose some starting power-ups and then see how quickly we can get through a few levels and beat the boss and go for the high score, with a solid rendition of our battle mode music.